Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tech Gamers World. In this video, I'm going to show you how well my Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick and T.Flight rudder pedals work after 6 years and over 6,000 plus hours of flight time. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Let's do this. Okay everybody, welcome back. So as I said in the introduction to this video, we're going to be checking out the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick and Thrustmaster T.Flight rudder pedals. After 6,000 plus hours and over 6 years of use, I want to show you how well this flight stick is still holding up after rigorous amounts of use. So I have been using this flight stick for going on 6 years now. Originally bought it from Best Buy for $80. Then I spent about, I would say, $100 on the rudder pedals a couple of years later, and it has been the best investment in video gaming I have ever made since my Microsoft Sidewinder Pro back in the 1990s. I absolutely love it. So I want to show you here how well it still works. So this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This is being played on a Microsoft Xbox Series X. And we're going to do an activity here. We are going to do a discovery flight. Now I am going to fly in my favorite place in the world, New York City, in the United States of America. So let's get to it. Now, let's go over a couple things here. The Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 is supported on a Microsoft Xbox One, Series S and X, and Microsoft Windows PC. That is basically Microsoft Windows 11. The Thrustmaster T.Flight rudder pedals are supported on Microsoft Xbox One, S and X, the Sony PlayStation 4 and 5 with some conditions, and the Microsoft Windows PC. For the Sony PlayStation, if you want to use the rudder pedals, you need to have a Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 4. It is essentially the same thing as the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1, except it is supported on the Sony PlayStation 4 and 5 and Microsoft Windows PC. The rudder pedals are compatible with both the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 and the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 4 and Microsoft Windows PC by getting a adapter to a USB adapter to plug in directly to the PC. Then you can use the rudder pedals as an independent device. They are required to be plugged straight into the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 or HOTAS 4 through the proprietary cable, which is connected right here. So here we go. So here we are flying over New York City. For the remainder of this flight, we're going to keep an external view here so I can show you just how cool the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 is and how well it has held up. So basic things that I want to test on a flight stick that I've had for years is overall durability. Does it drift? Does the stick move when it shouldn't? Stuff like that. How is the sensitivity? So if I let go of the flight stick, I expect the plane to tilt forward a little because my AOA or angle of attack is designed to push the nose down slightly, which is doing exactly as expected, but it is still flying forward in the same general direction. Things I'd expect to see on a flight stick that is in good condition. If it wasn't and it had what we call stick drift, it would basically look like this. Pretend the stick is straight, but you would see it drifting off to the side. In this case, I have never had that issue with the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick. I also do keep it very clean by constantly inspecting the boot around the flight stick down at the bottom here, inspecting the pivot joints here on the throttle body, and keeping those free of anything, whether it's food, dust, skin dander, hair, you name it. So flying past the Empire State Building here, we are in Midtown, New York City, heading downtown towards the World Trade Center. I absolutely love this flight stick. I cannot say enough about Thrustmaster's T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick. They have really made something special here. I have suggested it to all of my friends. I've had numerous viewers, customers, friends, family members buy it. Nobody ever has any issues with this flight stick. It is absolutely awesome. Whether you're using it on the Microsoft Xbox or the PC, the experience is always the same. It is basically plug and play with the exception of needing to install basic drivers on the PC, like anything. Super easy to get right off Thrustmaster's website. For the more advanced people like me, the Thrustmaster software includes control settings and diagnostics so you can test for joystick shift and update firmware and drivers and stuff like that. If anybody's interested in that, I will put the link in the description of this video to those firmware, drivers, and software so that you can check it out for yourself. It's pretty cool. So flying past the World Trade Center here, as we head downtown, we'll go ahead and head past One World Trade Center. Now we'll head down to Ellis Island. So we'll slow down here. Let's get our feet on the rudder pedals and we'll try out the rudder pedals. So as you can see here, I'm adjusting the rudder left and right there. Pretty awesome. Working like a champ. Still, in terms of maintenance for the Thrustmaster T.Flight rudder pedals, there's really been next to none. I did oil them once using just commercially available lubricant that I got. Used it, oiled up the metal joints, the slides, and it's been good ever since. So we're going to come up here around the Statue of Liberty, and then we'll bank around it and head back uptown towards the World Trade Center. So we'll go ahead here and bank around, doing a low flyby here. And now we'll say goodbye to the Statue of Liberty as we head back uptown, passing over the Hudson River. So we'll go ahead and speed up here so we don't stall out. I love the overall quality of the Thrustmaster T.Flight line flight stick. It is awesome. Both the HOTAS 1 and HOTAS 4 are essentially the same. I love all the buttons. They basically mimic a full Microsoft Xbox controller. You've got your A, B, Y, X. You've got the ability to use flaps on the back here. As you can see there, I lowered the flaps. We're going to need the flaps down to keep our speed up. You've got POV hat here, so you can switch the POV to the left, the right, back, forwards, down, switching back to the same default view there. Awesome, awesome. And you can fully customize all the buttons on the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick. So if you're flying in a fighter jet, you can assign afterburners to, say, button 13 there, so that when you're flying you can engage the afterburners. I love doing stuff like that. For helicopter stuff, you can adjust the cyclic and all that with the throttle. It works flawlessly. And just to make sure that everybody knows, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Everything I'm telling you here works just as well in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I am an addict of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I still play it after all these years because I'll be honest, the controls and the graphics in 2020 are still better than 2024. Shh. So we're going to head uptown now. We'll pass over the Flatiron Building, head to the west side of the Empire State Building, and then head uptown past the Central Park, and we'll go up the Upper East Side and fly over the Met. You can see here just how easy it is to fly with this flight stick. My work here has been nearly effortless. Just even the most basics of movements on the flight stick transition to movements of the airplane. So here we are, passing the Empire State Building. If you look to the left wing there, you can see Times Square. We'll fly over Times Square here. I should be able to show you some of it. There's the H&M building. You can see where they do the ball drop right there. Passing over Times Square, there it is, right there. That's where they do the ball drop every year. And now let's bank to the right here. We'll pass between these two buildings, fly over to the east side of Central Park, and fly up towards the Met. Central Park is a beautiful place to visit in New York City if you've never been. It's a cool place, and it's a nice quiet break from the hustle and bustle of downtown and midtown Manhattan. It is absolutely beautiful. If you're into art, I highly recommend you visit the Met. It is right there. It's a simple subway ride away from Penn Station or a bus from Port Authority. Here is the Jackie Onassis Reservoir, the largest body of water in New York City, and provides drinking water to millions of people. So as you can see here, testing more of the stability features, let's test the rudder features of the flight stick itself. So all you have to do is shift the flight stick just like that. As you can see there, works perfectly. I prefer to use the rudder pedals, obviously, for that, but because I'm testing everything here, showing you how it all works. We're going to go ahead here and make a bank right-hand turn to the east to line up with LaGuardia, which is right over there. You can see there that landmark. That is our runway. So what I like to do is wait until the landmark is kind of parallel to the plane here, which is about right there. Let's go ahead and make a nice bank to the right. And we'll head over towards the runway. Now, of course, what we want to do is slow down. So, nice test of the throttle body, bringing it back to 50%. On the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick, you will feel when you hit 50%, there is a little spot where it kind of sits in there, which is awesome. So we're going to go ahead here and drop the flaps down. Flaps are down to 15 degrees. And we're going to line up with the runway up here and hopefully land this plane. Then we'll do a little bit of taxiing here and try out the rudder pedals while we're taxiing. I cannot say enough about the Thrustmaster line of products. For the entry-level price that you get, I feel that the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 and HOTAS 4 rival even $200, $300 flight sticks. I absolutely love it. I think it is one of the best investments that I have ever made as it relates to video games. So we're lining up with the runway here. You can see just how easy it is to fly and align yourself with the runway with this flight stick. Let's bring the flaps down a little more. Watching my airspeed here. Listening for call outs of the flight levels. But I can visually land this plane. We're going to begin to throttle down here. Flaps down to full. Killing the throttle. And we're going to land here on runway 13. Beautiful landing. It bounced a little bit there. That's alright. So we'll use the brakes to slow down. B2 will slow down the plane. Now let's go ahead and test out the rudder pedals. So as you can see here, flying, driving here with the rudder pedals. They do take some getting used to because you have to bend your feet. So it's opposite. If you want to turn right, you bend the right one up. If you want to turn left, you bring the right one down, left one up. And we'll just continue here to go until we see a taxiway. Throttle up a little bit here. So we can follow this yellow line. Will bring us to a taxiway right here, which we'll turn off on. So we'll test the ability to turn off here with the rudder pedals. So you can see here just how easy that is. Rudder pedals are what you use in a real life airplane to taxi around on the ground. So we're going to go ahead up to this terminal up here, and we'll go ahead and park at one of the gates. Bring the flaps up there. Make sure there's no cars coming besides that one. Good. We're going to go over to that gate right between the two planes there. And then we'll bring it to a nice leisurely stop. I love these rudder pedals. They are so nice and they're comfortable. You can use them with no shoes. You can have shoes on. I have a size 10 foot and they fit perfectly even with shoes on. We'll go ahead and bring it up a little more here. So let's go ahead now and bring it to a stop. B2 for brakes, and there we go. We'll set the parking brake, and we made it. So that's it. Just to review here, this is the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick and Thrustmaster T.Flight rudder pedals. We played this today with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I have over 6,000 hours of flight time across multiple flight simulator games with this device. I have been using this for over 6 years, and I cannot say enough about it. I have absolutely nothing negative to say about the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick. So thank you everybody for watching this video. As always, please click that like button, follow, subscribe to me here at Tech Gamers World. That would be totally awesome. I'm always going to have new and exciting content from all the video games, technology, and flight simulators dropping all the time, and I would love for you to be part of my virtual adventures. Thanks a lot everybody, and I will see you around. Keep on gaming.